Hi everyone. So I want to talk about recent the recent news I heard. Um, that's about the tax identification number coming out real soon in Nigeria, and they said it's taking effect by January 1st. So I just want to just talk about it because we're we're literally at that space in our lives that something has to be said, something has to be done. I mean, Nigerians cannot keep on being silent about this whole issue. I believe that most Nigerians do not even know. Most Nigerians do not even know like what you feel me the what this new initiative is. You feel me? So I've heard about it. I've heard about it, and I've literally come to think about it. I'm like, this is not a good initiative. Even if the president want to bring out some new like this is not the right time for that. It's definitely not the right time for that because the country as it is right now is going through a lot. The country is going through a lot, and this cannot and this cannot be a good time right now. I mean, I believe that this new tax identification number is a very, very bad initiative. And at this current time in the country's, you feel me, in the country's economy, I believe is a bad time. And now, right, just getting this food back on. We're talking about insecurities. We're talking about kidnapping, assassination, crimes, criminals, activities. We're talking about Boko Haram, jihadis. We're talking about a lot of stuff. The economy, corruption, the police is corrupt, the army is corrupt, the navy is corrupt, the government itself is corrupt. And if you come to Nigeria and you're a commercial driver or whatever, or you're in transit going from one community or city to another, and let's say a convoy of army police is getting by and they see that you're obstructing or uh you blocking or I don't know, like they see that you not they like honking and you don't want to get out of the way, they can literally break your property, damage your property, physically abuse you, whoop you with a whip, anything, and it's really bad for a country that calls itself the giant of Africa, which I don't think Nigeria is. That is not that is not a good a good uh, um a good way to that's not a good way to act. That's not a good example to set. Your citizens are being physically, verbally abused by the forces. We're not saying anything about it. A lot of nonsense going on in this country that I don't think that this is the right time for such initiative. When the president Tinubu came into power, the first thing he did was take out subsidy, knowing full well that Nigeria was just recovering from the scarcity that the presidential election cost, and he took out that subsidy, and the country was in chaos. Everybody was trying to find his our food, and when God helped us, Dangote finally came on board and started easing Nigeria's problem. That now fuel or gas is no longer a problem like the way it used to be before. And now you just come in and want to slam this tax identification number on the citizens. I believe that this will literally um be like the time of near scarcity where banks were overcrowded because now we gotta go get a new I think tax identification number from the banks. This will literally be like that because nobody knows about it right now. Everybody's saying from 1st of January 2026 it'll come into effect, and I'm saying that this will literally be like that because the banks will be overcrowded, and we'll be dealing with so much that you cannot access your funds in the bank anymore because the bank is saying that you did not file or you did not try to open or get your tax ID in time and all those things. No, this is really really bad. This is really really bad, and this will really really affect people in hospitals who want to pay their bill with their money in bank. They can't access their account because it's now locked because the bank is now saying you gotta come open or get a new tax ID and all that. It is definitely not a time for that. And and secondly, I want to just put this out. I want to just put this out. We've already seen big companies threatening to leave Nigeria because the, the economy was so bad, it was not making no profit. And now the naira is strengthening, it's getting back on its feet. And the first thing you do is you want to slam every company with this tax ID, with this tax. You feel me? And this would just that, pave that way for these companies to leave Nigeria. And once they leave Nigeria, we're talking about job loss, unemployment rate getting high, spiking. And this is definitely something that uh, we want to really, you feel me, get involved in. Because I believe major companies will be slammed. Silverbird might get hit with this. Bossman might get hit with this. A lot of people, uh, uh, a lot of people will get hit by this. So you're telling me right now that of all the things that this government chooses to do is to come up with this stuff. I believe the Nigerians were literally turning into slaves in our own country. I mean, it's just like the transatlantic slave trade all over again. You can't talk, you can't speak. When you try to speak, when the president opponents or opposition try to speak, is he either silences them through giving them contract money or giving them position like this or appointment. Just to get Greener right now, for example, who is a very heavy critic by this government. You can see that the president right now he has literally given him an appointment. And if Reno goes on to take that appointment, it just shows that this man was not playing in favor of Nigeria but himself. That he's not a man of integrity, dignity. Because if he was criticizing this government from the onset, and now because they've given you a little bit of bone, a little bit of whatever, now you just take that appointment, and because once you take that appointment, it's no longer a critic, it's no longer in opposition, it's now working for the government. You feel me? So that's what I'm saying, because I feel like this issue will literally cripple the economy. It will cripple the economy. It will bring the economy to a standstill. It will be like Zimbabwean dollar when Zimbabwe dollar was so low that if you could literally carry like a lot of like Zimbabwean dollar in a bag, in a food bag, and to even be as much as $10. But this is just a way to cripple this economy. I don't believe the naira will come out of this because it will cripple the economy. It will turn to some 2.0 Zimbabwean dollar all over again, right? So somebody said, "Oh well, they're using this money to build infrastructure, monorails, road." I believe this is another sham scam. We've seen this whole story, we've heard this music, we've seen this playbook all over and all over again. Are we doing that because we want to use the money for this? Are we doing that because I believe that's a scam? This is a scam, and they're not going to use it for nothing but share it among themselves. They're not going to use this money getting gotten from this tax, whatever they want to do now, for nothing except to share it among themselves. My question now is, okay, fine, y'all want to tax everybody in Nigeria and say, okay, you're gonna pay that tax, you're gonna pay that tax. I'm like, does this tax also apply to the senators, the reps members, the ministers, the president himself, the governors? Because if it does, we probably finna see senators in the House right now crying wolves and talking about how this stuff is will affect them. Because you're not gonna tell me that a senator who's making probably around 25 million per month gets his monthly salary, and the government comes in and literally pulls out